Okay, so today we're tackling a topic you might think you know all about: older adults and artificial intelligence. But I promise you, the real story here is way more complex and, frankly, a lot more empowering than most people realize.
So you gotta ask, right? For older adults, is this whole AI thing a genuinely helpful tool, or is it some kind of hidden threat? The truth is, it's kind of both. And that's exactly why we need to talk about it.
I mean, you can see it right here. AI is a real double-edged sword. On one side, you have these incredible opportunities, things that promote independence, help with health monitoring, keep you connected. But on the other side, we're talking about really sophisticated scams, huge privacy concerns, and just a flood of fake information. It's this tension, this push and pull, that's creating this amazing and kind of surprising demand for AI know-how. All right, let's get right into it because we're about to bust a huge myth. You've heard the stereotype, right? That older adults just aren't interested in new tech? Well, let me tell you, the research, it tells a totally different story. Just look at this number. It completely shatters that old idea. A recent study found that a staggering 83.5% of older adults are highly motivated to learn about AI. This isn't just some passing curiosity, folks. This is a real, powerful drive to engage with the world as it's changing. So the big question is, why? What's driving this? Well, the research points to three main things. First off, they want to harness the benefits. Use AI for practical, everyday stuff, whether it's creating art or just making life a little easier. Then there's this idea of coping with the future. They want to keep up, stay independent, and not get left behind. And finally, and this is a big one, it's about avoiding the dangers. They want to understand this stuff so they can protect themselves from all the new AI-powered scams out there.
And listen to this quote from a 77-year-old in the study. "It is a new way of life. Eventually, you cannot avoid it, and trying to ignore this new trend is going to be a big mistake." Wow, that just says it all, doesn't it? It's not about fear, it's about being practical and refusing to get left in the dust. So, okay, we've established the motivation is definitely there. But how you actually go about learning it? And that brings us to the next big piece of the puzzle: navigating what can feel like a learning maze. Because wanting to learn is one thing, but figuring out how to do it, that comes with its own set of roadblocks. And, as it turns out, some really strong preferences for how to get it done. And look, the challenges they face aren't about a lack of motivation. It's more about running into a wall of confusing jargon or that feeling of being totally overwhelmed, like, where do I even start? And a big one is the lack of chances to actually get your hands on the tech and practice. So if those are the problems, what's the solution? What does the ideal learning experience actually look like? So what's the preferred way to learn? Well, this chart makes it crystal clear. Almost 60%, a huge majority, want a hands-on, accommodating style. We're not talking about boring lectures or reading a textbook. They want to learn by doing, by actually experimenting and, getting their hands dirty with the technology. And it goes even deeper than that. The perfect learning setup, it's all about support and making it relevant. Yeah, they want hands-on practice, for sure, to build up that confidence. But they also really want good social support. Patient teachers, learning with their peers, and seeing real examples of how this stuff can actually help in their own lives. All this points to a new kind of classroom that's working incredibly well. So where do you find this kind of environment? Well, it's in what you might call the real-world AI classroom. And the answer, it turns out, isn't some formal university course. It's these amazing, vibrant communities, often led by peers, that are making AI education accessible and, get this, actually fun. Yeah, places like Senior Planet and Cyber Seniors are really paving the way here. They're offering these free, interactive online classes that are led by and for older adults. This creates that perfect storm, right? The supportive, social, hands-on environment that we just saw people are asking for. And listen to Michael, one of the program hosts at Senior Planet. He says they have a myriad of topics, and that the classes are super interactive. And here's the kicker, they're all free. No membership fees, nothing. That just removes all the barriers and lets people jump in and explore without worrying about the cost. But it's not just about the tech skills. His co-host, Judy, points out the huge social side of it.
She calls it like magic and talks about how it's great for seniors who might be feeling a bit lonely. You can actually make new friends online. That feeling of wonder, of connection, that's what happens when you bring learning and community together.
Okay, so people are getting the training, they're feeling connected, but what do they actually do with it? This is the fun part. Let's look at how life gets AI enhanced and how people are putting these new skills to work for creativity, for fun, and for just plain everyday tasks. Here's a perfect, simple example. Think about the old way of finding a recipe online. You search on Google, you scroll past a million ads, you click on some blog, scroll past their life story. It's a mess. The AI way? You just ask it, give me a vegan chickpea stir-fry recipe. And boom, you get a clear, step-by-step answer right away. It takes all that frustration and just turns it into a simple conversation.
But it goes way, way beyond just recipes. This thing is like a whole new creative toolkit. Seriously, people are using it to write custom poems for birthday cards, create one-of-a-kind art for invitations, write an entire play for a holiday party, even composing music or making up personalized bedtime stories for their grandkids. The creative doors just fly wide open. And this isn't some weird, abstract thing. Listen to this user, Mariana. She says she's using it to add pictures to invitations she's making. Simple as that. It looks nice and it works very well. It's a small, practical thing that just adds a personal touch. But, and this is important, with all this new power comes a really critical piece of advice. And this might be the most important lesson in this whole journey. The big piece of wisdom everyone learns is trust but verify. All the experienced users, all of the teachers, they all say the same thing. AI is an amazing assistant, but it is not a perfect source of truth.
Just like Michael from Senior Planet warns, these AI models are known to hallucinate, which is just a fancy word for saying they make stuff up. They can pull from fake news or just invent facts out of thin air. So this doesn't mean you can turn your brain off. Critical thinking is more important than ever. You still have to be the one in charge, the final judge.
Which leaves us with a final thought to chew on. We always call AI a tool, right? Like a hammer. But when you see how it's helping people of all ages learn, create, and connect, you have to wonder, is it just a tool? Or is it maybe becoming something more, like a partner in our own lifelong growth? That's a pretty powerful idea to consider for all of us.